It's Beer O'Clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Off Axis Brewing Company, and it's a can of their Crimson Tide New World Red Ale. This beer is 4.8% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. Brewed under contract in the UK exclusively for TJM. So that's, I think, TJ Morris or something. It's home bargains, basically. It's a home bargains brewed beer. I generally really like red ales. Generally, really like red ales. They're one of my favourite styles of beer. This beer was either £1.59 or £1.69. Between those two price points, 10 pence in it. So it's bargain craft beer, isn't it? That's been brewed for a shop called Home Bargains. So I slightly go into this with a little bit of trepidation. I love red ales. I find red ales really difficult to get wrong. Not that Off Axis Brewing Company are necessarily going to get it wrong, but of course there's a little bit of trepidation because it's a budget friendly bargain lower end craft beer in a can. With that said, let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. Little bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. There you go, there's a look at it. There's a look at it. I'm listening to that carbonation already. It's a bit hissy and fizzy. I'm not going into the beer review on the back foot. I'm not going into the beer review like wanting to dislike it, wanting to hate it, if you like. Hate's a strong word. Hate's a really strong word. I think you should only use the word hate if you absolutely mean it. Like, I don't think hate's a word you can use to, like, just flippantly use. There's not a single person, for argument's sake, I'm just using this as an example, there's not a single person on this world, in this world, that I can generally say that I hate. And I can probably say that for beer too. I can probably say that for beer. You don't hate things. Hate's a strong word. One finger slightly off white head. Good levels of slow moving carbonation. Now, I dislike lots of things. But very rarely do I hate anything. Yeah, good levels of slow moving carbonation. It's definitely a red ale. It's a deep, dark red ale. It's slightly off-white. Off-white? Off-white? What am I talking about? Am I talking about a cream beer here? Let me start again. Slightly hazy, I meant. There's a slight haze going on in there. It's definitely got this kind of like cherry red, almost mahogany look to it. Let's get the aroma. Yeah, it's very difficult to get a red ale wrong, and this actually smells delicious. It's got all of those lovely, rich malts coming through. I like the complex malt that goes with a red ale. It's you use a little bit of crystal, you use a little bit of red malt. Some brewers decide to use a little bit of roasted malt. You get all of that depth in there. What I love about when a brewer uses different malts is there's so much depth of aroma and flavour. You're also picking up the hops in the beer. It's kind of slightly berry-like. Blueberry, raspberry, prune and fig. This smells really good. It smells really good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Gonna have a second taste. It's not bad. It's not bad. If I'm gonna get the little critical part out of the way first, it could probably do with a little bit more carbonation. It's a little bit flat, but other than that, for your £1.59, £1.69, that price bracket as of January 2023, there's a lot of biscuit malt coming through. There's a lot of that kind of red malt coming through. It's very biscuity. It's very bready. It's very nutty. There's licorice flavours coming through. There's a touch of vanilla coming through. There's flavours from the hops in the beer, that kind of prune and fig and plum, dark fruit flavours. It's slightly balanced. It's nicely balanced with that. A bit of sweetness over here, a little bit of bitterness over here. It's dry. It's got quite a dry, spicy finish to it. Now, I've tried a few of these Home Bargains beers. Now, I've got a couple to go. I've actually not got that many. This might be the last one, actually, in terms of... So you got Glencannick and you got Off Axis. And they're two different breweries producing beer for Home Bargains. And I've had some beers from Off Axis and Glencannick, which I've really enjoyed. And then I've had some other beers. I had one beer from Glencannick, which I really didn't like. And I've had some beers from Off Axis again, which I really didn't like. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, really. I think when you're brewing to an absolute bargain, if you're brewing a beer at £1.59, £1.69 per can, you're getting very close to that. I mean, let's use the example of Aldi and Lidl. Most people in the craft beer world know that if they buy a can of craft beer from Aldi or Lidl, there's a lot of trepidation. There's a lot of, what am I buying here? It could either be really good for the money, it could be a drain pour for the money. And the same can be said for Home Bargains. Sometimes, and I mean, the best thing to do, I would say, in Home Bargains, and I do this all the time, is to buy the beers in Home Bargains that are... So Home Bargains are really good at bulk buying. Home Bargains are not brewers. Home Bargains probably shouldn't be contract brewing beer. You don't go into a Home Bargains and expect to buy their own chocolate, do you? Or their own crisps. You go into Home Bargains and you buy cheap Walkers or cheap that Irish crisp come. Tato, cheap Tato, or cheap bags of broken biscuits from Cadbury's, or that sort of thing. That's what you think about from Home Bargains, not Home Bargains chocolate or Home Bargains crisps, or in this case, Home Bargains beer. So if you use that very same logic, in that if you buy a beer from Tuborg Gold, Tuborg Ficky, brilliant beers for the money in Home Bargains. I've had Nigerian lagers from Home Bargains. I've had all sorts of beers from Home Bargains that are brewed by the bigger brewers, but they're quality. They're real good quality for the money. I think Home Bargains' patience are going to run out with this contract brewing thing that they're trying, because I don't think it's offering Home Bargains a very good name. It's not offering Home Bargains a very good reputation. If you speak to people on the street who have bought Home Bargains, I think last year they had a brand called Home British Craft Beer Company or something or other. They've had another kind of brand of beers that have already failed, and then this range of beers are not great, and it starts to affect the brand. It starts to affect the reputation of the company. So I think it's probably last chance saloon here for the companies that are brewing beer for Home Bargains. I don't think Home Bargains' patience in or the willingness to ruin their reputation is going to last much longer. That being said, this is okay. This is okay. Would I buy it again? Probably not. I'd probably rather order Rudgate's Ruby Mild online, which is a fantastic mild, really lovely mild. It's a bit wishy-washy. I'm the more I drink it, the more I'm changing my mind. I wouldn't buy that again. In all honesty, I wouldn't buy that again. Not for £1.59. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'd rather, and this is the problem that Home Bargains have, I'd rather turn my head slightly to the left and pick up 6 bottles of Tuborg Ficky or Tuborg Gold. You know it's going to be great. Not necessarily great, but you know it's going to be a good value beer for your money. It's just, I think I could be having the same conversation about Home Bargains beers in about 3 years' time. I think if they carried on with this and carried on, I think I'd be saying the same things in 3 years' time. It's just a bit wishy-washy. It's drinkable. There's no off flavours. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not very good. It's just not, like, it's just a bit boring. I love red ale. I should be dancing from the rooftop regarding this beer, but it's a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.